I'm the Mike in michaelbearvoice.com. Yeah, studio sounds really grand, and it is. Perhaps I should add the word modest to the descriptor, but I think everybody understands what you mean when you say studio. It's a space of any size that is dedicated to the pursuit of something creative. That could be painting, it could be sculpture, it could be photography or textiles. In my case, it's the recording of voiceover in small projects and generally just having fun messing about with sound. On part 1 of the series, I introduced myself and the scope of the project and took the first step toward building this modest recording studio. And that was in stripping off the stiff painted paper which covered what I knew was 3/4 inch solid wood cladding or shiplap. So this might help explain exactly why it is I wanted to take off the paper so I could get at the wood. I need to preserve it intact, and if I simply start prying at it, it's going to simply split. It's 50-year-old wood, it's been dry, and it'll be kindling after I'm done with it. So I wanted to expose the nail heads on each of the in each of the rafters. So I'm just going at them. Basically, I'm just popping this off. I'm digging in with the corner of my tool. I'm popping that off as much as I can. I just want to pull it out a little bit. And then I've got myself a pair of nippers, pullers, 2 different types. And I just have to, whoa, that's sharp. And I'm just popping off the nails. And so when I pull off the nails, the wood comes off and I'm laughing. In this space here is all of the blown-in insulation, which is pretty nasty stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm simply, if I can't just simply push it down board by board, it's going to fall into the attic space in behind, which is fine by me. If I can't, then I'm simply going to pull it out and bag it and throw it away. I'm being as careful as I can in here, and I'm cutting with my Sawzall. I have to cut these planks because they carry on in long lengths past this wall, which is fine because on this stud here, I'm going to build my secondary wall, my inside wall. So this cut won't matter. It'll be in the negative space. It'll be in the gap between the 2 walls. It's a very exciting day today. I have a brand new N95 mask, not black with insulation filth. But we'll give it time because I have a little bit more to go. Clearing the insulation was the messiest part. On the ceiling, I had to drag it out and into garbage bags row by row, and it was unpleasant and dusty. Now, while cellulose fiber, basically think old newsprint, isn't toxic, thankfully, it is dirty and dusty to work with up close, so I was really, really happy to see the end of it. Well, that kind of does it for the ceiling stuff, and I've cleaned it out. On the end wall, I was wanting to leave this beauty here. It's a gorgeous little wasp's nest. They're really quite beautiful to look at, and I knew it was dead, of course, and that it is inactive. But I wanted to leave it in place because I understand wasps don't use the same nest twice, and so I didn't want to leave an open invitation by taking it out. But when I was sweeping up, it fell out and fell to the floor, and even though I knew it was inactive, instinct is a funny thing, I jumped. From the very beginning, I knew that I was going to keep that wood as the basis to form mass in my walls. But first it would have to come off the wall so I could properly vapor barrier and insulate the space in behind it. What I hadn't properly considered was that all of these great lengths of lumber that I was taking off the walls would have to go somewhere. I couldn't take them out of the room down a very narrow and short hallway with a sharp right turn down the stairs. It had to stay in the room until I could reinstall it, and that was a major P in the A. In fact, if I was to do this again, I would do it differently. Wood as a barrier to sound is not the worst thing to have, but it's not the best either. Sound, as we know, is very pushy. It's like that guy at the office party, the conspiracy theorist who's always poking you. It's persistent. I always knew that I would have to add in a layer or 2 of drywall in order to increase the mass of my walls and ceiling. But I hadn't ever considered not using the wood. It was here, it was available, there was no cost to me.
It's perfectly, so we gotta mark that right there. Mark at 0, dude!
But I didn't look past that to see what a pain it would be to have to move these stacks of lumber around depending on where I was working and what I was doing, sometimes shoving it out the window to create room. We live, we learn. Next time on Sound Sounds, we'll run across the first major hurdle and try not to skin our shins on the way over. Subscribe to the channel and follow the progress of this modest recording studio build.